Hey guys, it's Aaron or LM9, and it is that time of the year again, the time for the year to end. Thankfully, as everyone knows, 2020 was awful, pretty much all across the board. But hey, let's forget all that for now, and instead let's talk about some custom Lego. So here's all of the custom Lego figures I made this year, mostly Star Wars, some one-offs, and a decent amount I actually haven't shown yet on YouTube, being these music figures. Their time will come. I just wanted to get a display built for them before I do a video just yet. Overall, this year has been my favorite year for customizing. I got around to doing some bucket list figures and just ones I've been planning on doing for a long time, like the Clone Wars project, and doing some more figures from The Mandalorian. I'm just really fond of everything I've made this year, and I hope you guys feel the same. Before this video, I'd like to go through my top 10 favorite figures I've made this year. Starting with number 10, we have Frank Ocean. Frank was part of my music figure project, where I made a bunch of music figures and Lego-fied album covers, but I just haven't shown any of them off yet here on YouTube. I put Frank on this list because he's my favorite music artist, and I'm just really pleased with how this figure turned out. I actually made several iterations of this guy, one in the wrong colors, one posed for the album cover, and then this normal one that also has a nicely painted helmet to go alongside with him. Overall, not a complex figure, which is why he's at the number 10 spot, but I'm still really happy with the paintwork on it enough to put him on the list. Number 9 is my Darth Sidious from the Clone Wars. This guy has a lot of cloth and vinyl elements, a sculpted hood, and some saber hilts, but was fairly simple to make compared to the rest of the figures in this top 10. I still really like the colors I mixed for the robes, the minimal sculpts, all of the paintwork, and the fact that I got an actual shadow to go over his face. Number 8 is Savage OPRESS. This guy turned out just the way I was imagining it, with the extended limbs and the broadened shoulders. He just looks like a beefcake. I'm also really pleased with how the face paintwork turned out. That's one of the things that I do not like doing on Zabraks, because it's really hard to do that whole face and just make sure everything's symmetrical, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was fun making a larger than normal figure, which is why he made the list. At number 7 is Captain Rex. Now, Rex is fairly simple, but he was one of those figures that I've just been trying to get to for years, and I'm really happy that I finally did. He's pretty much all paintwork since I didn't have to sculpt much of anything, and I'm just really happy that I finally got to him and really happy with the result. Number 6 is Homelander. Homelander is one of the few non-Star Wars figures I made this year since I quickly became a fan of Amazon Prime's The Boys. The figure itself has a minimal sculpt, but I'm really proud of the scale paintwork all around the bodysuit and all of the stars on the cape. He's an overall nice looking figure that definitely stands out in my collection. Starting to get into the top 5, here is S-BO-KATAN. Now, I was really happy with the sculpt, the color, and the paint on this figure, especially on that helmet. I'm just super proud of how that looks. I also really like the hairpiece I sculpted for her. I think that's pretty spot on to her appearance in the Clone Wars. And I guess next year I'll have to make a new Bo-Katan for the Mando. Number 4 is AHSOKA TANO. Now, AHSOKA was another one of those figures I was really excited to finally get to since I had never made an AHSOKA before, and I'm really proud of the result I ended up with. The sculpt is minimal on her, but I really like that streamlined aesthetic the figure has. Like, I feel like it could still blend in with normal Lego figures, unlike some of my more sculpt-heavy figures. And I was really happy about finally getting to make an AHSOKA, and I'm really excited to make a few more versions of her for Season 7 of The Clone Wars and The Mandalorian. Number 3 is DJARIN from Season 2 of The Mandalorian. The sculpt on this guy turned out really nice, and I'm really excited about finally getting some resin casts of it out to you guys here soon, so you guys can paint some up for yourselves. I was also really pleased with the paintwork, especially the silver on this guy. Really like that color and that finish that I got. And I can't forget the functionality I included with the magnets on the back to allow easy swapping between the rifle and the jetpack, as well as the unpainted head. Number 2 is VIZSLA. Now, if you guys remember, this was the figure from my second part of the Clone Wars figures that I made that I was most excited to get to. I've always really loved VIZSLA's armor design, and finally getting around to sculpting and painting it was just so much fun. I had an absolute blast making this guy, and that's why he's at number 2. My favorite figure I made this year was my MAUL from the Clone Wars. I was just more than happy with how the head sculpt and the paintwork came out on this guy. I'm just ecstatic with the overall outcome of the figure. He was so much fun to make, and it was really fun to go back and kind of revisit a character I've made a couple years ago that wasn't that great, and to just revamp him, revise him, and just make an overall extremely better version of him. So I'm really happy with how this guy turned out, obviously, and that's why he's in the number 1 spot. And also, after making him in Savage, I'm really happy I don't have to make any more Zabrak figures from Star Wars ever again. So there was my personal top 10 custom LEGO minifigures I made this year. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agreed with my list or if I missed any of your favorites from this year. Now, I know I usually talk about my plans for future custom figures in these end of year type videos, so just briefly, what I have planned for 2021 are more figures from The Mandalorian, more from the Clone Wars, my Halo Reach Noble team, and that's honestly all I really have planned right now, and those are the ones that I know I'll get to, so I don't want to make any false promises, but if you guys have suggestions for stuff you'd like to see me make next year, please leave them down in the comments below. I read all your guys' comments, and I see all of your guys' suggestions, so just let me know if there's anything you guys would like to see from me. So, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video and my other videos throughout the year. I wish you all a very happy 2021, and I will see you guys later.